New software, new hacks. That's the trend that we see for the PT exam. As soon as the PT updates its software, there is a chaos and panic in you about what is going to happen, and you get scared. But let me tell you a secret. The basic technique to attempt the read aloud questions still remains the same. So, if you follow the rules and the techniques that I am going to show you right now for PT Read Aloud, you need not worry about using the jugaad techniques or the one-liner techniques. This read aloud strategy will continue to work even the PT software is updated multiple times, and that's a guarantee. Hey everyone, I am Anurag from Edutrainex PTE, and I hope you all are doing great. And this video will bring to you joy and confidence if you follow the 5 hacks that I am going to show you for the read aloud questions. Not only that, but I am also going to give you and show you the 5 big reasons why you get low scores in the PT read aloud. So what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe and watch this video right till the end to master the PT speaking read aloud questions, which is a heavyweight contributor not only to your speaking but also to your reading score. And the download link is available as usual in the end. But if you are still struggling with the PT exam, you can join our course where we are helping hundreds of PT aspirants every day. Let's start cracking. Are you still in panic that the PT software was updated recently? And then because of that, you have to improvise or change your techniques for the read aloud. So let's look into something which is quite strange and a strange phenomena about the read aloud relations with your reading scores. The first thing that I want to show you before I get into the hacks and the techniques, and not only that, I will also show you the big reasons for your failure in this task. So just hold on a little bit more. Let's talk about what this strange phenomenon is. People are getting 90 in speaking and only 60 in reading. And see, this is a screenshot of a real examinee's scorecard. Okay, so for privacy reasons, I can't show you the whole scorecard, but this is a real one that has happened in the month of July. Okay, and what I got was 89 in speaking and reading very low. So why? The question is why? Are you also facing similar issues? Are you also observing similar trends? What is the reason? The main reason behind this is that you are using either the one-liner techniques, which are giving you good scores in the speaking, but your reading scores are impacted. Or the second reason is also that you are skipping a lot of words. So you are still getting marks for fluency, but you are skipping a lot of content in the read aloud questions. But today's focus is read aloud, how we can maximize both the elements, speaking as well as reading. So let's talk about that. Read aloud definitely matters. As I told you, 30 to 40 marks, both to your speaking and to your reading sections are added from this particular question. Okay, so that's how important read aloud questions are for the exam. Now, when we talk about how it is scored, before you start attempting any question, you need to understand the logic behind it, the maths behind it. How does the software work? How does it evaluate you? Only 3 scoring criteria: fluency, pronunciation, and content. And you see, content is right at the bottom. Don't think by the triangle size that content is weighted heavily. Just to show you the triangle that this is the weightage of your marks that you get from the read aloud questions. So content scoring is lower side. Okay, pronunciation and fluency are the key here. See, this mouse click is also pointing to fluency. So that is what you need to. And we'll talk about what exactly fluency means. Is the speed, pacing, natural speed, a little bit of intonation, pausing, all those things, elements together combines as fluency. Okay. The other thing is pronunciation. Because it is a software that is listening to your responses, you need to clearly pronounce the word so that it can understand you really well. So that is another key that you need to focus on. There are several tips that can help you to improve. Practice daily. Any free pronunciation app, you download it on your phone and learn new words, how to pronounce the new words. That will help you with the pronunciation. And fluency, I'll show you the steps now. Now, content is the least priority one in most of the speaking questions. Okay, content is the lesser priority. So even if you skip some of the words in read aloud, you can still get a perfect score, both for reading as well as speaking. So the first element of fluency and the first hack that you need to improve on is the speed. What's your pace, buddy? What is a normal speed? People are struggling with that. They don't know what is the normal speed. How fast am I speaking? And you are relying on the AI software scores that you are getting for that. It's very simple math, right? You count the words in the read aloud and speak. See how much time you are taking. Let's say it's 60 words. Okay, 60 divided by, and if you are taking 20 seconds, so it will be 60 divided by 20. That's how many words you are speaking per second. And then if you multiply it further by 60, then you get the word count in a minute. How many words you are speaking in a minute. And you should try to maintain it somewhere along these lines. Some of the students that I've seen speak at a very high speed, and because of that, the fluency, the clarity of the words that you pronounce gets compromised. So don't make this mistake. This is the first hack. And the software is also now really focusing on how fast or how you're keeping your pace. So that's the first hack. You need to control your speed. The second thing, I always tell about this thing in my all videos related to speaking, that pausing is very critical. So the PT software is designed to look where you are pausing or not. And where do you need to pause? Are these places: commas, full stops, or question marks. All these punctuation marks need to be respected. Okay, and you need to stop there, even at a slight pause. Okay, don't unnecessarily pause wherever there are no commas. Okay, that's unnecessary pausing. It will have negative or adverse effects on your response score. So only pause when there is a comma, or there is a full stop, or even there is a question mark. So these are the areas that you need to pause, and this is very critical, very critical in the algorithm. If you don't pause it, just speak like, a bullet train, then your fluency scores are heavily compromised. So keep that in mind. That's the second hack. Speed, pausing. And do it in stepwise. First work on your speed and then move on to pausing. Okay, don't try to approach everything in one go. The next one is hesitations. Now, who doesn't talk about not hesitating in speaking? Okay, so try to speak at a normal speed, just the way I'm speaking to you. Keep the hesitations low, and you need to practice this on a daily basis. If you are really stuttering or struggling with somehow pronouncing the words, so that is the practice that you need to achieve, and you need to master the hesitations. Whatever happens, I will not hesitate. That should be your goal, and you practice daily as long as it takes. Like start with 15 minutes, 20 minutes reading, and read it aloud. Okay, follow all the steps that I described before and also going to describe later. The main target should not be hesitating. Anything related to stutter, repetition of words, correcting your own mistakes, fumbling, all those things are regarded as hesitations. It's a complete no-no, and this is the third hack that you need to follow. Okay, so speed, pausing, and hesitations. If you master these three, then there is no one that is going to stop you from getting a good score. Now, the remaining part is also essential if you can accomplish that. Now, commas, full stop, punctuation symbols already help you to achieve some kind of intonation in your voice. So that's what I'm saying. Speak with a purpose, as if you are explaining it to someone. What is the purpose? Have some energy. Not like monotonous. This is the video that I'm going to share. If I make a video like this, are you going to watch? No, right? So you see how I'm speaking with energy, with little bit of ups and downs. That's the normal way of speaking, right? That's how we speak normally. So you don't need to induce any artificial intonations in your voice unnecessarily. Okay, it will automatically come to you. Where you can put the intonations, some of the important words, the keywords, nouns, verbs, adjectives, only some of them. Don't try to overdo it. That's one of the mistakes that people do, trying to add intonations. All right, so that is what I mean. Monotonous should be a complete no-no. Okay, you don't need to sound like a robot. You see this robot dancing here? That's what it means, because they can escape, but we can't escape the PT exam. Okay, if we speak like a robot, this is how it should be done. That's monotonous. Okay, speaking with a purpose is speaking with energy. So that's your step number 4 and the fourth hack for the read aloud. Wait for the full demo I'm going to show you shortly, and also a student success who followed these hacks in this month to get a 90 score in speaking. Alright, so the fifth and the most important step is to combine everything together and execute it properly. What execution means is that you have to speak properly. Focus on your fluency, and some of the difficult words you can skip. If it is really going to make you hesitate or stutter because you are trying to think when you are trying to pronounce those words, and because of that hesitation occurs. It's a natural thing, a human thing. Okay, so that's what you need to overcome with practice. Once you are done the hesitation perfection practice, that's what you need to execute when you are doing. Combine everything together. No hesitations. Speed, watch your speed, pausing, and then a little bit of energy here and there. Okay, some kind of intonations. Don't sound monotonous and don't sound too fast. Let me demonstrate you what I mean with this 5 hacks that I just discussed you with a real life or real exam question from the PT exam that has come in this month. Now you see some of the words I have highlighted in this passage which may sound a little bit tricky to you. So the 40 seconds given to you for preparation is the time where you need to identify these kind of words and then plan it, and then whenever you are doing the actual reading, you just ignore those words. But if there is a comma after that, you still need to take a slight pause there. Don't ignore the punctuation symbols after the words. Okay, even though it may sound a little bit unnatural if you're just stopping after off, but continue that way if this is going to make it even worse. Okay, so the main thing is focusing on fluency, right? 3 to 4 words can easily be skipped. That's not a problem. But if you start ignoring many words, then it will start impacting your reading scores. So there should be a balance. You need to strike a balance between how much you are aiming for. Okay, if you are aiming for a 79 plus, 3 to 4 words is still an acceptable amount of words that can still fetch you good scores for both reading and speaking. Okay, so let's do the question. I will be speaking here and then you need to speak the same way when you are doing the practice. Travel planning is all about the details. But while you may be a master at uncovering the cleanest hotels and practicing proper airplane, there is an element of being a guest that stumps even the savviest of. Tipping etiquette, who to tip and how much of a tip to give be confusing. See, does that sound natural to you? Some of the places I changed the tone, just added a little bit energy. Not everywhere, right? I'm not doing over stressing, I'm not doing over intonation. Where? Just recognize some of the words, okay? And commas and full stop will help your voice to come down automatically because you are taking a break there. You're putting a break. You're holding it there for some time. Very slight pause. Travel planning is all about the details. See, when I'm stopping at full stop, automatically my voice is, the tone is coming down. So that is what intonation is. If you can at least manage that one, then still you don't need to worry about energizing it further. Okay, so that was a real exam question. We'll do a little bit more later, but let's see the student's success who actually followed these hacks and avoided the mistakes that I'm going to show you. The big reasons for a low score in the PTE speaking section, as well as to increase the marks in the reading section. So kill 2 birds with 1 arrow. That's what we are doing with the read aloud questions. Any question in the PT exam that has scoring elements in 2 sections, you have to do it perfectly so that you score well in both the areas. Now, the number 1 reason for not doing well in the exams for this particular question is because you trust the AI scores too much. A teacher can give you much better feedback on how you are speaking according to what the PT exam is expecting. But what you do, you go to the different websites, the uni websites, academy websites or whatever, and then you start attempting the questions without focusing on the key things that we ask you to improve. And then you get 60 score in one website, 70 score in another website, and then you ask me, sir, I'm getting this much, how much will I get in exam? And when I listen to your responses, I still see the basic elements are not matching. So the AI score that you get from these websites cannot be trusted 100% because the PTE software is a copyright, proprietary software of PSN, okay? Nobody has that software. What people are trying to do, including us, we are trying to give you a platform to practice and some kind of feedback mechanism that you get from your responses in real time, okay? But you cannot and just not take the score for granted, okay? If I'm getting score on the uni website of 70, I'll get the same score in the exam. That cannot be true, okay? For some people, maybe a coincidence that might happen, but regularly or on a usual basis, it's not true. Don't trust them. Always go for a tutor's feedback on your responses. Okay, that's what we do in our classes. Each of the students, I ask them to speak. Even after the class, they send me responses, recorded responses, and continuous feedback is provided to them. So within a span of time, they are able to improve. So don't rely and don't benchmark it. Don't benchmark, I'm getting this much, same score I'll get in the exam. Absolutely not. Eliminate this particular guy over here. The next big reason is that when I ask you to speak with a purpose, what you do is you stress too much, stressing on everything, or intonate too much, intonating on every other word. I'll demonstrate you what I mean. Travel planning is all about the details, but while you may be a master at uncovering the cleanest hotels and practicing proper airplane practices, too much stressing on every word or almost every word, that's a complete no-no. So you should be just balancing, okay? Some of the words, stress on it, or even if you are unable to do that, follow the punctuation that will help you to modulate your voice, okay? Stressing is not very important, but if you can do it, you do it. Otherwise, don't try to overdo it. Now, too much intonation is again the pattern or ups and downs that I tell you. Too much ups and downs is also not good, like artificial ones. It should sound natural. If you can do it naturally, well and good. If you can't, don't try to induce it artificially, okay? If I say travel planning is all about the details, but while you may be a master at uncovering the cleanest hotels and practicing proper airplane practices, you may think I'm singing a song, right? But that's how people try to do it because they are not aware how to add intonations, okay? What you exactly need to do is just, if you add a little bit stress on some of the keywords, like planning is also a verb, you can stress on it, or uncovering, or cleanest, or hotels, just some of them. And just decrease your tone or slight pause will help you to intonate your voice at these places and the punctuation symbols. Travel planning is all about the details, but while you may be master at uncovering the cleanest hotels and practicing proper airplane practices. You see how I just did a little bit intonation here, here, and here, okay? Couple of words is what you need, okay? Don't do too much intonations, that will hurt your score negatively, okay? The next reason for failure or low scores in the PTE speaking, especially in the read aloud questions, is huskiness of the voice. Too deeper voice or too high pitch voice, okay? You need to modulate your pitch of your voice as well, okay? In my other videos, I have shared techniques how you can, how the singers use this technique to, position the neck in order to, have a depth or high pitch. So that's what you need to do. Too much high depth. This is how I am speaking. The software will have difficulty in understanding if I speak this way. Okay, you should avoid. Try to do more speaking, make your voice a little bit clear and elevate your neck in this position higher so that you get a little thinner tone. On the other hand, if your pitch is too high, especially observable in girls, so if it is too high, even beyond Lata Mangeshkar, if it is too high, then you need to position your neck down so that you can add a little bit depth in your voice. That's also an unknown reason behind not being successful in the read aloud as well as the speaking section. And the last one, The fifth reason for not having good scores is because you are stressing too much on the S and the ED words. Okay, see these words here: asked, parked, cooked. E is silent. Okay, each of these words that I use, asked, parked, cooked, no sound of E there. Okay, I am not asking, I'm not saying it like asked, parked, cooked, why cooked, cooked, cooked. That's how you should add your pronunciation together. Okay, now the next one is also overstressing on the S word. Schools. Okay, that's how you should speak. Hotels, practices, not schools, hotels, practices. So overstressing can add, unnaturality in your voice. Okay, don't overstress on S and work on these things. How to pronounce the past tense words like this, where you don't have a sound of E. Okay, now let's do some real exam questions. 2 more questions before we wrap up this session. Please observe the same things that I demonstrated you now. The tips and the hacks will be visible to you in this one. You can also pause the video and try it on your own. Let's do the first one. See some of the words I just highlighted you that may be difficult to pronounce. That's the thing that you need to plan in the 40 seconds given for you to prepare. Let's begin. I'm going to try and pronounce everything, but if you cannot, then you can ignore a couple of words. That's perfectly fine. Okay, I'll demonstrate some ignorance of words as well, so that you see I still sound natural. Okay, if I ignore this word, I will not pause here. Okay, during winter there is not enough light for, I'm not pausing, to occur. If you pause like that, that means something wrong has happened. You need to read it continuously. During winter there is not enough light for to occur. Okay, fluent, no down, no ups and downs. Okay, nothing needs to be added here. No pauses need to be added here. So that's how you should train your brain and your eyesight to ignore this word and continue reading from the next word. Let's begin. The shorter days are a sign to trees to begin to prepare for winter. During winter, there is not enough light for to occur. So as the days shorten throughout autumn, the trees begin to close down their food production systems and reduce the amount of in their leaves. See, what I did was ignored the photosynthesis and chlorophyll, and if you are not looking at this text, you will not even realize that I ignored some words. Did you? That's the way you should sound natural in front of the PTE software as well as in the exam. The next one is PTE exam question as well. This time I have not highlighted any words that may sound difficult to you. So try to read all the words. If you still think there are some difficult words, note it in your mind and then ignore it while reading. So if I am the examinee and I am attempting this question in the exam, this is how I will read. Modern buildings have to achieve certain performance requirements, at least to satisfy those of building codes, to provide a safe, healthy, and comfortable environment. However, these conditioned environments demand resources in energy and materials, which are both limited in supply to build and operate. You see, this is a real exam question, and see how many commas are there. Okay, this is not a deliberate plan from PT to, hurt your fluency score, but actually a test whether you are respecting these commas and full stops or not. See how many places. And if you rewind the video and listen to the way I spoke, you must have noted that I paused at every comma and full stop. Slight pause. Okay, I'm not asking you to do a couple of seconds gap, a very slight pause. Okay, let me show you again what I mean. Healthy and comfortable environment. Okay, the voice also came down. However, again slight pause. These conditions, environments demand resources in energy and materials. See, non-stop, no comma, no full stop, non-stop reading. Again, I brought down my voice because there is a comma there, because I am trying to stop. And that's how you solve the questions and you get a perfect score in the read aloud questions. Wow, you just learned about the 5 read aloud hacks and steps that you need to master, as well as the 5 big reasons why you get low scores in PTE Read Aloud. Don't forget to watch the video on 5 secret tips and tricks of PTE speaking in 2024 to get a 90 score, which cover all the other speaking topics as well. Hit subscribe and keep watching Edutrainex, and I will soon be back with another great video on PT topics. See you soon.